like it or not, I'm still going to be me ultimately, though. I think that's what a lot of people forget. Thank you, Arthur. I think that's what a lot of people tend to forget, is that the person who you grew up loving doesn't change because they choose to identify as part of the community. The person who you raised, like, I think my mom, when I had told her when I came out, she had said, where did I go wrong as a parent? I'm like, I'm sorry, to me, you went right as a parent. In terms of somebody who's respectful, who carries your ideals and your morals when it comes to respect and kindness on the road, my mom did A1. But I think when parents don't understand that you're still the same because of how they were raised, you have to explain to them, this is who I am. I'm still this person, but here's an extra part of me. Here's another part of me, right? It's just like that onion term. There's many layers to peel back. Oh wow, that's not what that's about today. But yeah, so I guess we're gonna move on to another part of the session here. I wanted to talk about how to be an ally. I think, like I said, it's as simple as making sure you're referencing people how they choose to be identified. It's as simple as grace. How would you feel if you were being spoken to this way? It's like kindergarten. I'm laughing, but it's not funny. It's like kindergarten examples of how you should treat other people is how you should treat people who identify as part of the community. Things like that. I'm like, oh, I really wish I had my admins in the room, but I don't think you can kick anyone in a live house. Anywho, I do feel like these are kindergarten notions of how you should treat people, and I think it's that simple. But I know we can, but I also understand, yes, it will be. Bye. Just because today's topic is completely different from what you're questioning about, but anywho. Yeah, I just wanted to make sure people understood it's very easy to treat people with kindness, as much as it's hard for some people because they're miserable or they're dealing with whatever they're dealing with in their lives. That's why I try not to take on so much of the energy, the negative energy that I see in the world. So, oh wow, this is very distracting. Oh, I can mute as the broadcaster. That's awesome. I'll do that then. Because no lie, I'm looking to the comments to see if people are chiming in on the discussion with me, or for what else can be said. So I wanted to make sure that I wasn't missing anything. But yeah, verbiage is extremely important. Empathy, I would like to talk about empathy a little bit. I feel like when people think of empathy, they think of agreeance, right? Like, you don't have to agree with certain situations that a person is going through. Because I have like very serious Christian folk for friends, and they have never once judged me for loving who I love. And I think that's true religion, in my opinion. True religion reflects that you can lead with love without agreeing with how a person is living their life. Because I think I said earlier, I said choose to live their life, but it's a choice to be brave enough to come out and express who you love, but it's not a choice. In my opinion, it's not a choice that you're attracted to that person. It is a choice to continue to love someone daily. It is a choice to clean up your home. It's a choice to take care of your body and your mind. But I do not think it's a choice to ignore a feeling, because some people call it an urge, but I don't think, thank you, Miss Paparazzi, I don't think it's a choice to ignore a feeling. So I'll use my partner for example. When I first saw my partner, we met online, actually, believe it or not, during the pandemic, the very height of the pandemic. And it was during Song Association. If any of y'all are familiar with that game, you say a word and, you sing the song with that word. And, we were talking about what healthy relationships look like, what you would and wouldn't allow for your partner. And I saw them, and the way that my mind and my body was immediately attracted to this person. And before, I hadn't been in a long-term relationship with a female presenting, non-binary person. So I was just like, oh my God, this is new for me. This is an experience I'm going to have to be patient with. And it challenged myself. It challenged my verbiage. It challenged my tone. I'm still working on tone, y'all. It challenged my empathy. I had to understand that we may be a part of the same community, but two of our struggles are two completely different things. I also want to speak on struggle versus female and female relationships, or female presenting, and male to male relationships in the community. So I will say, from my experience, I've noted that I can't say it's easier being a female, but it is easier in some aspects. Like, because, in terms of like judgment, you're still going to get the same amount of judgment from people who are straight. But just seeing some of my male counterparts, like my male friends, go through what they've gone through, you can get removed from your home. Like, we advise some of our friends not to come out to their family if they're under the age of 22, 23. Period. Thank you so much, Prince, for the update, because I need to know that. I was also going to say that, thank you, Rowdy. Thank you, Chicken. Thank you, Chicken. Yeah, I do feel like I'm more comfortable in terms of my male counterparts, because you can be removed from your home. You can be like renounced from your family. I just feel like people don't understand how much their lives can be affected by simply being brave enough to speak their truth. Thank you again, Chicken. I think that when I speak of grace, at times, if you're in my lives or if you ever come and visit me, I do mention grace from time to time, because I feel like people don't fully understand that word. Grace is just giving someone the space to heal, the space to make mistakes, the space to go through whatever it is they're going through without keeping you, without keeping you up to date, without letting you know their every move, without always having to answer a phone call or a text. I think sometimes we have these impossible expectations of people because it's something that we would do or how we would carry ourselves. But I think grace is like the biggest thing that you could offer someone, especially someone who's a part of our community, because the amount of suicide that takes place, and that's a word that people are so afraid to use. Thank you, Michael. Mental health and wellness and the LGBTQ community, unfortunately, to me, is synonymous. The amount of depression, the anxiety of going out and imagine going to a fair and wanting to be social with your partner, but because you're afraid of how people will look at you, you live your life in fear. And that's why they call it being in the closet, because a lot of people feel safe and protected in there, and they have to face so much ridicule and judgment and slurs, like harmful words to someone's mental health and wellness when they do decide to step out. So I was never one to believe in coming out. I was never one to believe in telling people, hey, this is how I live. Nah, that's for you. And when you're ready to come out, or when you're ready to have a discussion, because you're not hiding. You shouldn't feel like you have to hide, especially not in 2022. And I think sometimes we forget that these reminders are necessary, because I know that I have children, and my family was not used to, my way of life. They were like, what are you doing? Like, why is this a phase? The biggest thing for me that stressed me out, let me pause for a second to read these comments. Thank you, Anthony. I hope so too, because I definitely take these lives seriously, especially with topics like this. But I think I've shared this portion before on a panel, but I'm going to bring it up again because it was a very real question that I got asked from a family member of mine. And my brother, actually, he asked me like, yo, D, are you with your partner because of how men have treated you? Are you with your partner because you've been hurt before? I can't speak for all women, because I do know that a lot of women are so fed up with men that they go ahead and think they can play with somebody's daughter. And that's not cool either. We're not experiments. We're not a fetish, men as well, DL men as well. People who haven't came out to their family or haven't addressed to their family that they're living this truth. I love you too, Trav. We're nobody's fetish. I think I want to repeat that one more time. We are nobody's experiment. We are not to be played with. We're human beings that have feelings just like everybody else. And to answer my brother's question, I said to him, I'm like, listen, I have so many beautiful, strong men, beautiful, strong black men at that in my life, that I would never look to someone else to heal what was broken in me. That's my job. that's something for me to do. And never once would it be a sense of punishment against a man to show him that, haha, a woman could do it better. No, I love who I love because they love me and treat me right. It has nothing to do with me being treated wrong. I can't say that's, this my experience is everyone else's, because I'm sure there are women out there. Listen, in a perfect society, I don't know if everyone thinks like this, and maybe not all would agree. I think there are straight people. But I also think the reason for that is because not everyone, especially men, were not allowed to experiment like women are. Like women on women is a very overly sexualized, I guess, genre. Because, we all watch adult